rain's finally stopped. It's time to go drilling. Off doing a Claydon demo today. It's a long old drive, 30 miles away from the farm. My GPS has gone. Filled up, got 4.5 bags in the back, so I've slowed the road speed down to 40k because these implement tyres, they're not really designed to carry that much weight on the road, so slowed it down, got myself a little escort, show me the weight in the field, and so hopefully in a few minutes time we'll be planting some beans. High rate, seed rate, 350 kilos a hectare. Seems very high to me, but that's what they reckon they want, so that's what we'll do. Bit of a view from up here across the estuary. I'm not sure how much we'll see when we get down in the field. Just down at the bottom here. Looks like it's on a floodplain. There's all water out beyond those polytunnels. It's soft, just in a little grass field and dropping into the top of the tyre tread. They told me there's one wet hole out here. Well, flat is good though. I like flat. Don't like flints and hills. Where we're drilling now hasn't gone that well so far. I said it was a high C rate the farmer wanted. I planned to put the fan speed up to try and cope with the high seed rate, but one of the guys that works here was asking a lot of questions about the drill, and I hopped in a cab, set the depth and didn't change the fan speed, and the first run locked up the main pipe solid as means. Very high seed rate. I've never heard of anyone planting that high, but that's what he was told to do by the seed suppliers. So anyway, I had to undo the Jubilee clip on the big main pipe, drop that out, clear that, and ramp the fan speed up. Gone a little bit low with the forward speed, so I'm only doing 8k. Everything seems alright since then. On the seed rate side. On the depth rate side, I'm not sure on the depth side, we've got big problems. The depth is set on this with one ram. It works, the hydraulics is a master and slave system. So the front ram is a master. Spaces on it. Just use the crude gestures, but it pulls back through. The cylinder pulls back through, and you have a plate on the end. You put spacers on the rod, and when those spacers go up tight against the body of the cylinder, that stops the drill going any deeper, and that is your depth set. But dropped it in one end, it pulls straight through, pulled the stop collar off the end, and knocked all the spacers off. So I've got the bit here somewhere. This is the bit that got pulled off, so the spacers should go here. That pulls back in, sets your depth. So the welds snapped off of that, which I would just weld up. Set. I'm 30 miles from the farm. I've actually got a new one of these rams in the shed. I got left there by accident, but I'll put that on for tomorrow. But yeah, ordinary I just weld it up to carry on going. But in this instance, I have to look over my shoulder and watch for the spacers to come into contact with the cylinder That's my depth, so I let go of the spool valve just a smidge before, and I should be running, I have checked, at the right depth. Just a bit of a nuisance you don't really want. So there's not too much to do down here. This little field's nearly done. There's a smaller one next to it. And then trek all the way back home after that. We should be drilling beans again tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So get back to the yard, get dieseled up, have a little grease up, and should be good to go tomorrow. A bit more bad news, just for good measure. Just started the headland because the end of that ram snapped off. Normally it would fully close to wherever you set the spacers. And once that was shut, you could push out the marker arm. But it doesn't fully close because I'm stopping it. So the marker arm's only half out. So I can't use my marker arms, bout markers for the headland, which is a shame. However, just turn them off because there's no point having them on. However, this drill isn't too bad to see where you've been, to run side by side and see where the front disc has been, or see where the leg's been, and then you can line the front disc up with it the appropriate distance apart, so it's a bit easier to tell than some other drills. Run out of the slight overlap maybe, just to make sure there's no gaps. So this field's been cultivated in the autumn, I guess. You wouldn't normally cultivate in front of this drill. I don't know if the guys who own this farm were planning on using this then, or whether they spoke to Claydon later about getting a demonstrator. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, normally it goes straight to stubble. This isn't too bad, it's pretty firm. I did go after ploughing in the autumn. That wasn't very successful because you haven't got the full width packer. It's got 7 decibels. If you've got soft dirt, you get ridges in between the wheels. But this is going okay, which is nice to see. Well, we're about done here. Last run round the headland. Can't say I'm not relieved. Literally a pain in the neck. Keep looking over your shoulder, trying to see where the ram is to get the depth right. It's not like using a set of discs if you've got a depth gauge on them, where if you go past it, you can just bring it back. As soon as I use spool valve to raise the hydraulics, there's a little ram that activates the electronic switch for the metering system. So as soon as I start to raise the drill, it shuts with the metering system. So I lifted it up, it would turn it off, and I put it back down, and then you'd miss a bit, so I reverse back, fill it in. Yeah, one of those days. So nearly done. So the sun's setting now, pretty low. Put the lights down a bit. So it's 4 miles back to the farm that I'm working on. We're going to have about 200 kilos worth of seed left in the hopper, which we'll empty out, fill up the diesel, and Then it's an hour and a half drive back home. Through, rush hour will be gone by then. But yes, practically do get stuck in traffic. Don't just pause it on. So I wanted to give a little walkthrough of how this drill works. I'll try and do it tomorrow. Be drilling one of our own fields tomorrow. And then after that, got to go about 20 miles south of the farm to plant about 150 acres, I think. Direct drilling. And then there's quite a bit of patching in the guy wants done from where it's wet in the winter and the wheat didn't survive, so they want to sort of patch it in with some spring wheat. So I think there's quite a few eggs that before we come back to our farm again and drill another 100 acres for the neighbours. So a fair bit to keep us busy. So just folding up now, all done here. Get back to the yard and get emptied out before it gets dark. That's that done. I might take the spacers off before I go so they don't fall off on the road. Behind me, it's a cracking view over the river. I guess cranes overhead's coming to you, but they look quite majestic. Standing on the opposite bank. We're back in the tunnel now, on our way home. Sun's setting outside. So, be another hour and 15 or so, hour and a quarter, and I should be back in the yard. Fingers crossed, because I got an AdBlue warning light. I've changed the AdBlue filters on here, but the problem is persisting, so I have a feeling it's a knock sensor on there. Well, hopefully we'll get back to the yard right if we're worrying about it in the daylight. We've still got full power, so nothing to worry about just yet. Yeah. So thanks for watching anyway. Hopefully in the daylight soon we'll have a walk around.
In a quarter of a mile at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Lower Raynham Road, B2004.
Very helpful, thank you. Yeah, we'll have a walk around during the daylight and show you how this machine works. Until then, have a good one. See you soon. P.S. You heard me saying thank you to the sat nav. Bloody thing was sending me up a winter street.